You have superpowers, especially now, and that's going to continue to grow and expand. I want to talk to you today about amazing things you may not know that are fact, not fiction, fact through science that are going on right now that is mind-blowing. From those who can read without sight and those who can feel colors. And this is just the start, and it all has to do with frequencies and our abilities through our brains to tap into spaces that most of us aren't doing, but all of us have the abilities to do. Are you ready to go into that superpower space? I'm very excited about this one. I'm going to talk science today, and I'm going to show you what you can do to start using it now that'll pull you off of the material garbage, the lower frequency, into something that could blow your mind and completely change your life. You ready to do that? Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through the fears and live an awesome life. What's breaking through fear? Why do I always say that? Because it's there, it's part of humans' collective consciousness, our species. It's something that makes us go into arguments. It's what causes us to hoard and use power in a negative way. It's fear. I won't get what I need, and you know, my family needs to be protected, and I need to be right, and all ego-based. What's that? The lowest frequency. The more you go into that, the lower frequency you're on. Are you arguing? Knock it off. Let's have a cup of coffee together, because I've got some good stuff. I have some information that I collected and did some research for you so you can look this up. The planet has its own frequency. The typical Schumann resonance, that's what that is called, is 7.83 hertz. It went up to 158 hertz December 7th, 2019. What does that mean? When we are usually on 7.8 and we go to 158 hertz, something's going on with the planet. It's a high frequency. What happens when we go to a high frequency? We experience different things, because when your frequency goes up, you are happier. You start to manifest amazing things. Manifesting happens like that. When you're in a low frequency, you don't believe you can do it. So manifesting is happening, but you're manifesting limitations. You're in a low frequency, I can't do it, blah, blah. And that's a lower, slower frequency. Vibrations are what makes everything appear to be different things. Everything's a frequency, all right? So you get to choose your own frequency, because you are an independent energy field within the collective. There's no separation of us, but you get to choose it every moment. Why would you ever choose a lower frequency? Are you arguing with anybody? Knock it off. Are you watching negativity? You're programming yourself. That's all you're doing. And the lower negativity frequency, the lower frequency beings out there are putting it out there for you. Why would anybody put something negative out there unless they were already on their own low frequency? And so they're coming from fear and control. So what do they want to do? They want to control everybody else. And if we put fear out there, we keep the masses helpless and hopeless. And it's working. Not if you're not watching it. So I want to share something with you. Everything's energy. There's no separation between us. So when somebody walks in the room, you feel, ooh, you know, that's real. When somebody walks in, you go, ooh, that's real. You are picking up on their energy field. You're an energy field. So the higher frequency you go on, the more you're going to, like attracts like. That's when you start to find better opportunities, more opportunities, because everything's a wave. It's a probability, the unseen. Everything out here is a wave, until which time it is observed, and then it turns into a particle. It becomes not always instantly material, it starts to become something. And so the more you focus on that, the more it comes into the reality. And you're thinking, well, I can't just stare at a probability and it becomes a table. No, what happens is you will start to focus on that, and you'll either somebody will call and say, I have this table I have for you. I did that. I actually tried to purchase the most amazing farm table. And it was on back order for a few months, and I wanted it so badly because there was nothing else like it. And so I was like, yeah, I'm willing to wait, no big deal. And then my friend, and so I relaxed, right? My friend calls and says she's moving some stuff around. I come over, I said, what happened to your farm table? I actually ordered one just like it because I loved it so much. She says, oh, I have a new one. Guess what? She sold me the other one for $200 because she wanted to get rid of it. That's what's sitting in my living room right now, instead of $2,000, which I was going to pay. That's the probability that turns into the particle. In other words, that probability of all that existing. That table already existed. It happened to be the one I saw, the reason why I ordered the other one in the first place, right? That all exists. So that made its way to me because I was open to it. I didn't say it has to be the one from, and I won't say the store I was going to buy it from. I said, that's the table of desire. I'm willing to wait. No big deal. That's the probability coming into a particle, a wave into a particle. So when more you focus on it, the more it will show up in events, through other people, or you'll create it yourself some way. Now that's what's happening out there with most of you. You're not focused on anything positive or good or constructive. You're going down a lower frequency, and that's everything. That's what you're creating. That is now a joint or shared collective, which everybody's throwing it, their drops into the ocean. And if your drops are polluting it, then the ocean gets polluted, and that's what's happening right now. So it doesn't mean you, as a more purified form of a frequency, a higher frequency, have to be directly, let's just say, pulled down by that. You will be affected by it, but you still make choices. This is why the human experience is so challenging, because now you're experiencing some of that stuff, and you still have to keep your frequency up amidst the other low frequencies giving up and going into it, and oh, please. Isn't it exhausting to argue? All right. So I want to share something with you. So that frequency spiked. It's at its highest. It keeps going up to these high frequencies. Why? She's evolving. She's going up. And did you notice that was December? That's just about the time this all started, right? And it was like brewing and things were happening, and then it made its way over to other countries with, our health issues and things like that. It started to infiltrate here. Something happened. We spiked, which means what's happening as a collective now, what was happening before, we were, cubicle, make money, retire, unhappy. That's not working. So when it spiked, it shifted into a different reality as a collective, and this is why this happened. We're collectively rebelling against how we've been living. And so many other things are happening saying it's not okay. This isn't okay. This isn't okay. And so we're standing up and saying this all has to change. And of course, you're not going to get everybody on board with that. That's okay. But you have to continue to raise the frequency. Why? Stuff's going to start happening for you. Now, here's what I want to talk about. You have amazing superpowers. So I saw this program that was like, I already know all this stuff, but it was really cool because they went through the whole gamut. Now, I'll give you the resource of the definitions that I looked up this morning. Hold on. Okay, there's a site called sixthsensereader.org. Sixth, S-I-X-T-H, sensereader.org. That gives you the definitions of everything you ever want to look at from the sixth sense. In other words, what is it? And so words like synesthesia are in there, which I'm going to talk about today. So, did you know, and I have some of these abilities, by the way, clairaudience, right? You get messages and you hear, a lot of you guys are getting all of this and you don't even pay attention to it. Somebody said they hear their name being called. That's real. I get my name called. I used to get it called a lot. And especially as I'm asleep, they're trying to wake me up. And it was clear as day. Why would I be dreaming and have my name called? You're not doing that. Somebody else is doing it, getting your attention. Because when you go into that theta state, in between sleep and, being conscious, you let go of all of your resistance, and so other energy fields find it easier to connect with you because you don't have the fear. So the fear, when the fear is up, that's when, you know, and you actually attract the lower frequency. I did one on the dark entities. When you go into fear, they love it. They're like, oh, you want to play. And that's all they are like, yay, we're down in a low frequency. Let's find somebody else who is. So they seek out fear. Or you might be an open gateway. So if you are like, you know, opening yourself up to things, they may show up. But it's not till you go into fear that they're going to hang out with you. You just tell them to leave. They will leave. They really will. Now, there are situations where those entities reside in certain places. And some of that isn't actually them residing. It's just an energetic imprint. So just sort this out. Those are just other energy fields. So you want to keep yours high. Now, when you go into the high frequencies, you are no longer telling yourself you're limited. And so this is why a frequency and your abilities definitely, there's a correlation there. You want to go into a high frequency. So if I told you you had a certain ability, you were afraid of it, you thought it was weird, or you know, you're going to be a witch or something like that, you'll block it. So clear audience, I do hear things, I see things in my mind's eye. I don't actually see them in the room, although I do see some movement sometimes. I see sparks, but that's not what I'm talking about right now. You guys are going to start seeing that. Sparks you're seeing, those are energies. They're just energies hanging out. And because the veils are coming down, the frequency of the planet going up, our frequency, if yours is going up, you'll actually start to see things you didn't before. All right, does this make sense? Because you're going into other realms. You're going to other dimensions. Don't be afraid of it. There's nothing to ever be afraid of. You have equal power. It's not like something has power over you. It doesn't. It's only if you allow it. You have to allow it. All right? So clear audience is you're going to start to hear things, messages, or they'll tell you something to do, or an idea. I just got one driving home from Florida last night. It was like, oh my God, this is it. This is what I need to be doing. Do I have makeup under my eyes? Okay. And then I get going. All right. And so, oh, I was going to wear a necklace for you guys. I'll do it in the next video. So clear audience for me is I actually got picked out of an audience by a psychic who said they're getting messages and you have abilities. And I said, yeah, they said, do you have abilities? I said, yes. And they said, we're being told that you have abilities. And I said, yes, I do. And he said, how are you getting them? And I said, I see them. I see things like situations, people, you know, words. And I also hear it. Like I'll hear a statement like, this cannot be stopped. You remember I gave you guys that download? This cannot be stopped. In other words, we are on an awakening and we hit the tipping point. And we are going into the new earth. In other words, it cannot be stopped. We are on our way. That was really good. I had to share that with you. It was such a clear message. You're getting that all the time, right? And a lot of you go, I don't know, I got this thing. I'm like, yeah, pay attention to it. You're getting it constantly. And so don't be afraid of that, right? Because when you're on a high frequency, you're connecting to other high frequencies. And this is why you have to keep the frequency up. Meditate. Shut down the negativity, stop going there. 3 seconds to manifest anything. In other words, 3 seconds you should switch over, higher thought, meditate, exercise, eat healthy, drink water. All right, so you also have the ability to do these things. There are mostly children, but there are people who can actually have total blackout of their eyes, sit and read books, do obstacle courses, and you can hold up anything in front of them and they can say, you know, that's a purple ribbon or whatever. And they can sit there and see just like we do it. It's actually different. It's not quite as crystal clear as us, which is sort of a joke, like this is crystal clear. And when you go to a higher frequency, if you guys have experienced this, I've experienced the fourth sense, the fourth, not the fourth sense, but the fourth sight. I didn't know what it was, so I asked a friend who's very spiritual. He goes, oh, that's the fourth sight. I said, what's that? And he said, you're actually seeing beyond the 3 dimensions. You're seeing into the 4th dimension. In other words, colors become vibrant, and things are very detailed. And that's when you go in an awakened state, you actually can see like that. So what happens is the frequency is affecting your brain and everything in your body because you are an energy field. Now that frequency of the planet is affecting you, and the scientists in this show that I saw said, of course it's affecting us. That frequency absolutely is affecting your body, your brain, and it's changing things. So if it's a higher frequency, it's changing things in a positive, more open way. Higher frequencies is more abilities. It's just, no limits, right? So you are absolutely experiencing some things right now, and you have to keep your own frequency up, that could tap into unbelievable abilities. You can do stuff right now that's mind-blowing. I do it all the time. I can get on a phone with a conversation with somebody or on the computer, and we'll say something, and within a couple hours it happens. You gotta be careful with it. So that's why it's important to stay in a high frequency, so you're never having those negative thoughts. So synesthesia is when people taste words. So if you say a word, they're getting different tastes in their mouth. They can see sound. I know a musician who sees notes flashing. Those are energy fields. So energy flash, an energy flash, different colors, energy flash. And so they see the different colors of the notes. Okay, this is what auras are. People are just seeing energy fields, and you can actually do that too. All right, so energy fields. So we sense the electromagnetic field. You're actually just, your senses are now going beyond this 3D limitation that we impose on ourselves, and it's now expanding into seeing more, the fourth sight. So now you may see flashes of light. Do you guys see flashes like a spark of white or blue? People are saying that a lot. You're seeing the color of an energy. The color doesn't exist. It's only through our brain that creates that color. So your energy and your frequency is what's creating that. In other words, that's connecting and creating a color in your brain that you see, right? Okay, so it is impacting everything that's going on in our brain. Paroptic vision. All right, so there are people that can touch a surface without seeing it and know the color. That's when you're seeing beyond what the eyes are showing you. So you can go to that website and look up all of these terms about, what is synesthesia and, the sixth sense or psychic abilities, or look them up. It's more like it's more of a scientific, but recognizes all of these true abilities. So we're all energy fields. I just want, here's what I wanted to say. So those of you who feel like you're disabled, even if it's PTSD or ADD or whatever you want to name yourself, which I think is bullshit, to be honest with you, because you're not any of those things. You're just experiencing something and you can let it go. You're not it. So now I am this. No, you're not. If you want to get rid of it, you can get rid of it. But if you attach yourself to it, you become that. And you identify with it from the material world. So you can get rid of anything. People have taken my meditations and had spontaneous healings. If you don't believe me, read the comments. And I have had a spontaneous healing before, not through my meditation, but by letting go and going into the higher frequency space and just saying, accepting certain things, and it was gone. Your body's always giving you messages, and then we get to play roles out. Those of you with disabilities or experiences that you believe are holding you down, addictions or anything, did you know that can enable you, it can in every situation, to have more powerful abilities in something else? Have you ever noticed that somebody with extreme autism can play the piano in some unbelievable way? They hear notes in a way nobody else can, but then they can't really have normal conversations. That's when the brain has there's something in the brain has a area that is super enhanced because the focus now, these things are more shut down, and now the focus is there, and it enhances. This can happen for you, and you can actually do it if you have no disabilities. You can sit and work on those areas on your own. All right? So if you have a disability, you may have enhanced hearing, enhanced sight, or enhanced psychic abilities, or enhanced something else, because now the areas that normally would function like most people aren't. And so the brain switches over to different areas and has enhancements that you may not even realize. But if I think about this, all of you know that there's like something that is a little bit more enhanced or different. Start working on it. I didn't realize this is synesthesia. I taste smells. Now that's not so crazy, because when you breathe something in, it's all going into your taste buds, but I actually can smell things. I actually don't smell it. I can taste things just by walking in a room when there is no smell, but I can tell you what's going on in the room. I know when there's chemicals. I know when it's super, super heightened, so I can taste it, and I know that there's something in the room, usually toxic. I taste smells. I always say smells, but I don't know if that's how it's happening. And so I just know things, and a taste will come into my mouth, and I know that there's something in the room that is, not always explainable. But I've told people, like, I knew there was a gas leak in my house. I could taste it. No one could smell it. I have enhanced smelling too. It took 3 people to find it. I was convinced I had it, and they were saying, "Lady, there's no gas leak." I said, "Yes, there is. There is one." And finally somebody found it and said, "How you could have known this is like impossible." They had to get this high-tech equipment. So trust that. Trust it, all right? Because that's real stuff. And I want you to know that it's always talking to you. It's who you are. It's not just an ability. It's who you are. You are everything. You're attached to everything. Colors are just your brain, giving that communication and creating that color. I mean, this is all due to the light and everything else. We are all sharing all of this information and these energies that are allowing us to experience what we're experiencing. It's crazy, and I'm telling you right now, it's time to tap into it. You have superpowers, so you can actually sit and manifest stuff. I do this all the time. I'm like, okay, I'm going to manifest something like really cool right now, and so watch what you're thinking about. And then so I sit there and I'm like, okay, this is what I'd like to create, and so I will get and I let it go. I let it go. It's not, I have to get this, and I'm going to focus. Now, that's not belief. That's the ego trying to control again. So just let it go and say, okay, I know it's already done. It's done. And then it will start to show up. Things will start to show up. And then sometimes you have to fine tune it. My Florida trip, 3 chances to go down there. Not everyone was exactly the way. So I had, I want to fine tune that. And so when I did, finally, the offer came down to go stay at a private condo with nobody around, and me, and I got to babysit the puppy, which was fun for me. And I got to have a situation that I didn't imagine was available, but I knew what I desired. So those abilities that I have, that you have, it's always creating. It's just always creating. That wave goes into a particle, and it's like stuff starts to happen, because I never doubt it. I never block it. Now, most of you are like, that can't happen. And can I do this, Landria? Somebody just put a comment on my 3 seconds to manifest anything. Can you do this for me? You're never going to manifest what you desire if you don't believe you can do it. We're all equal. Equal power, my friend. We all just chose individual experiences. That's all. And each of you gets challenges that you chose. Freaking master them right now. Get it out of the way. Master it. Take care of it. It's going to go. The traumatic childhood is not going to be traumatic anymore. You're going to go, I get it. I get it. There was all these things that happened hundreds of years coming up to this, and now it's culminated into this, and I'm going to master it, damn it. I'm going to forgive and love these people who are my best teachers, because now I have overcome the most difficult situation of being human, and that is to have abuse that makes no sense at all. Wow, can I be Christ-like and forgive them, for they know not what they do? But that includes you, because that means that you don't know what you do when you're angry at somebody because they didn't do something you wanted them to, or they're not wearing their stupid you-know-what. Okay? So get over yourself and go into that high frequency, that Schumann resonance. You can check it out, but it's spiked and it keeps going up. It keeps going up. And guess what raises it? Joint meditation sessions, these group meditation sessions. So start getting together with like-minded, high-frequency people. Stop hanging out with the quagmire, in the quagmire. You're better than that. You are. Everybody is. So stop choosing it. You can start doing these things and start having fun with them and sit. And you can ask for things too. Ask for messages. That ring in the ear is a frequency. So be okay with it. Don't, okay, the heart palpitations too. Guess what your heart is? Electromagnetic field. So that's what you guys are experiencing. I had the heart palpitations a year ago and a year before. Quite a bit. It was a little disturbing, to be honest, because like I run every day and I eat super healthy, and I was like, what is this? My blood pressure went up. I've never had I've always had low blood pressure, and that all just cleared up because the frequency of the planet was going gaga. And so what happened is my electromagnetic field was being affected, and your heart puts out its own massive electromagnetic field, your brain. So you're going to, that you have hearing, that's the ringing, that could be that high pitched. There's tinnitus, that's different. But that super high pitch is you're hearing the frequency out there. So you can ask for it to go away. You actually can control that too, by the way. All right? Because it's your body and your energy field, and you control that. This is amazing stuff. I want to hear about your superpowers. Start focusing, and don't go into the ego state. I'm going to, oh boy, if I hear this one more time, I'm going to make you love me. Lowest frequency. I need something and I'm going to try and control your free will. Hello, that's, you might as well be Gunga Din or, one of the other people that ran through the country killing people because they want what they want. There's no difference when you try to control somebody else. So be respectful of others' energies, know what you desire, and ask for the best of it, right? It doesn't have to be that. I want the best, because that might be someplace else. Those powers you have are creating big time right now. Go to the high frequency. I'm telling you guys, because some of you do write me, it'll blow your mind what starts to show up. Let's start doing it today. Let's have fun with it. And then see if maybe you can, be really aware, like sit and stare at a tree and you can actually feel the energy coming off of it. You can feel energy coming off of things. You can walk around, not electronic stuff. Obviously you're going to feel that. Go up to different things and sit and think about, like, what am I feeling off of this? You're putting your own frequency off too. And then listen. Like when I go for a walk, I just listen. I hear different birds. I might hear a plane. Then I might hear traffic. I hear children laughing, and then the breeze blowing through. I start to just listen to things. And the more you become aware of that, the more it's communicating with you, because now you are focused on it. Your quantum focus is on those things, so they start to speak to you. You can actually feel energy just hit you sometimes, and then your fourth sight might kick in. You may see things differently. Beautiful things. Beautiful things. Hey, by the way, if there's a shadow in the room, that's not negative. Unless you feel something really negative, pay attention to that too. I've had things walk by, and on the floor, which was probably one of my pets that died, I have seen things. Sometimes they hang out for a while. I'm like, okay, this thing is hanging out here daytime a lot. So it's fun. I'm like, I'll talk to it and I'll say, you're always welcome here as long as you're on a high frequency, and I welcome your assistance to do certain things, and I have fun with it. Just because you can't see it, well, you know, because we're control freaks. I have to know what it is. I have to know my future. Tell me what it is. You're doing it. You do it all. You're doing it. You're whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. I'm going to remind you to go to the description, to go visit landriaonkka.com, and you have some things down there and a few codes for discounts. I have tons of courses: Shift into Miracles, Shift into the New Earth, Shift into a New Reality. I have a workshop of conscious manifesting that is pretty cool. I just started workshops where we have exercises and a lot of questions I ask you. And then, of course, here is landriaonkka.net, and that's when you can say, okay, if I want to create something, if I want to be a business person and learn how to do that and be that, because not everybody, you know, is a born, you know, entrepreneur, but you can become one. You can do anything you want. They teach you how to launch any kind of business, no products or services required. So we're taking people in this highly spiritual community, very, not like weird spiritual, but like very caring, including the founders of the company. And we have this amazing community, which it'll uplift you. People are talking to each other and helping each other. There's live webinars and trainers, and you work with a consultant who says, what do you want to do? Let's create that together. And then they give you all the training, step-by-step training to do the actual physical work online. So guess what? You work out of your living room. You work out of the, you know, chateau up in Switzerland, or, you know, you get to, or on the beach. I was working on the beach because I had an internet connection. It wasn't the fastest, but it was working. And so now my life has changed because I can do that. You can do anything. Say, I can't because, you know what? You have to make the effort and you have to want it. And so start tapping into your superpowers and start taking the action as a physical being. This is fun stuff. You're amazing. You are, I just want to McFly. Come on. Join me. I'm having fun here. All right. So what am I going to manifest today? Ooh, I did something yesterday, big. All right, what are you going to manifest today? Why don't you pick something? It could be pretty cool. Yeah, pick something and just know it's done, and then get excited about it, right? When you're excited, it's like, ooh, your frequency goes up and you're connecting to that. You keep seeing it and your frequency is going up, and the wave starts to go into particle, and then somebody calls you, or an opportunity comes up, or something happens that you didn't even imagine because you're letting go your ego that says it has to happen this way. I don't know why I'm talking that way. Is that how the ego sounds? I don't know. Anyways, we'll bring Hacker T, who plays the ego, in one of my videos this week. Is that fun or not? What? Yeah? Go in and start to explore all of the abilities. Choose one that you'd like to enhance and focus on it, and see if you can read auras or see colors differently, or do some amazing things. I asked to see UFO. I actually saw my first UFO a couple months ago for the first time in my entire life, and it was so blatant. No clouds in the sky. This baby was real, and then it blinked out. That's another discussion. We just could talk for years and years. You're whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. I love you. Go create. Namaste.